Hello friends, this is lesson number 74 in the series of British literature in English. And today in this lesson we shall discuss Sir Walter Raleigh. He was born in the year 1552, and died 1618. Sir Walter Raleigh. There are not too many questions from his life or his works, but still he is a prominent figure of the age of Renaissance. So we just consider him. And he was a writer, a poet, a soldier, a politician, courtier, spy, and especially he is a famous being as an explorer. He used to go for sea voyage, so he was a traveler, and he is famously known for popularizing tobacco in England. Tobacco. He introduced, in fact, tomatoes and tobacco in England. And at the same time, he was notorious, means not a good person, witty, a flirt, and even had attention of plenty of ladies, and in the court of Queen Elizabeth. The era of Elizabethan age, in that period, uh, it was means the pirates, they were very famous. They used to go for sea voyage, and it was the age of explorers, because you can see in the history in the late 16th century, the Europeans, especially the Britishers, they were exploring the world. They were searching the new countries because they had to go for wealth, and the most of the journeys they made towards the Latin America. So they were exploring the new world. And among these explorers, we have the prominent figure Sir Walter Raleigh. His other friends were like Francis Drake, John Hawkins. These are the also important names. And these explorers, they were given the name privateer. Privateer means they own a ship. They used to go in a ship and they had weapons or so, and they used to explore, and sometimes even they attack on the ships of the enemies, and they steal the wealth and whatever they could find. So remember, they are also termed as privateer or sea dogs. This is also one more term is used for them, sea dogs. So they were there to attack the enemies. Now, Queen Elizabeth, she used to provide them money to support them, and as they go on such trips, and after they return with some wealth, and they used to share those wealth with the authority, with the queen, whatever they have robbed. And later in the year 1585, Queen Elizabeth gave him the knighthood. He was given the name as, or title I should say, the title as Sir Walter Raleigh. And he also remained the captain of the Queen's Guards for 2 years. So throughout his life, he was quite involved in the administration. He was so near to the court, so near to the Queen Elizabeth. During that time, the Britishers, they were attracted towards the New World. Now remember what is New World. The countries like India, America, or the Asian countries, they are termed as New World, because the old world is the Europeans. So Europeans were searching for the new places, and they searched first the Asian countries, then the Americans, and all these. So that is termed as New World. Why they were searching? Obviously, they were looking for more resources, especially gold, wealth, and they formed new colonies. They started trading. All we know about this in the history. And Walter Raleigh, he uh, he actually formed or not formed a mythical city. The name is El Dorado. El Dorado. And still, this name is known as a mythical city because El Dorado is nothing, I think, real. And that time, Walter Raleigh was after this city. He was looking for El Dorado. Even you can go on to Google and find El Dorado. So he was searching for that city. So that is why he explored the whole America. Why he was searching? He might have heard this name that this city contains so much gold or wealth. So that is why he was looking towards this mythical city, El Dorado. So he kept on searching for or exploring that new world, especially the American continent. In the year 1587, he explored from Carolina to Florida. Carolina, that is also the name of a city in present day America, and to Florida. And he turned this as the name Virginia. And the name Virginia is after the name of Queen Elizabeth, because we know that that queen was a virgin. She was not married. In the year 1591, he married Elizabeth Throckmorton. In the year 1591, he married this lady, and this lady was a maid in the court of Queen Elizabeth. He married with the permission of the Queen Elizabeth. And later, Walter Raleigh and his wife, they were put in the Tower of London. Remember this name, Tower of London. Most of the time, or in many cases, you see during the period of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, Tower of London was like a jail. Many of the famous people, they were kept there under the custody, or you can say they were observed there. So they were kept like a prison there. So in that place we had Sir Walter Raleigh and his wife. In fact, why he was kept there? Actually, he did not take the permission of the Queen Elizabeth. Actually, I was a little wrong earlier. He did not take the permission of the Queen Elizabeth to marry her maid, and that is why she kept them in that Tower of London. And later he got or regained some faith from the Queen Elizabeth, and then he started making again uh, voyage to South America for wealth, and he published a book on his journey with the name like The Legend of El Dorado. The Legend of El Dorado. He brought tomatoes and tobacco, I already told you, and he introduced them to England. Now, the major development that we see in the reign of King James the First, Sir Walter Raleigh was accused for the main plot. Now, what is main plot? Main plot was derived to kill the King James the First. It is also known as the gunpowder plot. We have already talked about it in the previous videos. So, Sir Walter Raleigh was among the main accused of that plot. So he was again locked in the Tower of London and he was given the death punishment initially, and later it was converted into a lifetime imprisonment. He and his wife, his children, they spent almost 12 years in that Tower of London. And there he wrote his major works. In the year 1616, he was released and he again made some sea voyage to the South America, and then in the year 1618 he was executed. So before his execution there are some words that he uttered when he saw the axe during his execution. He said, "This is a sharp medicine. This is a sharp medicine, but it is a physician for all diseases and miseries." So I just write what he said before his death. This is a sharp medicine, but it is a physician for all diseases and miseries, like this. Okay, and the last words he uttered, "Strike, man, strike." So his last words were, "Strike, man, strike." So this is all about his life, and now we just have a quick look on his works. The first is Discovery of Guyana. You may have heard this name, Guyana, that is in the southern America. So it was published in the year 1596, and he wrote this work when he came back from Guyana, and he just explained or drafted the account of his journey, what he experienced there. The next work is The History of the World. In this work, he talked about the Greece and Rome, the country Greece and Rome, the old civilization of Greece and Rome. So history of the world, and for this work he used 6 languages as a source, and he not only wrote about the England but also about the ancient world, especially about the geography. Okay, so we need not go deep into that. Just remember that it was about the ancient people of Greece and Rome, and then the ancient world, especially about the geography. And then we have another work, Collections of Poems, and this is pretty straightforward. And about this work, C.S. Lewis, he considered that him as a silver poet of the Elizabethan age. Silver poet, one of the silver poets of the Elizabethan age, who resisted the Italian Renaissance. So we have Sir Walter Raleigh, who resisted the Italian Renaissance. And the most of the poems had the theme like the personal treatment of love, beauty, love loss, time, all these things. And then one very important work, that is Nymph's Reply to Shepherd. Just try to recall when we were discussing Christopher Marlowe, there was a poem that is the passionate shepherd to his love. The passionate shepherd to his love. This poem is written by Christopher Marlowe. And we have Sir Walter Raleigh. He simply give a response to this poem. So in that poem, that is which is written by Christopher Marlowe, there is a shepherd and his love interest, that is a nymph. Nymph you can take as a fairy. So shepherd is in love with a fairy or a nymph, and then the poem written by Sir Walter Raleigh, in that nymph is giving a reply to the shepherd. This poem is a pastoral poetry. Pastoral means that is of a rural area. Pastoral, that shows the you can say rural or village sort of you can say life. So pastoral poetry, and this poem, four line stanzas. It contains four line stanzas, and there are overall six stanzas. And mostly they have the rhyme scheme like AABB. That is the rhyme scheme followed in that poem. Now, one literary fact: in the 20th century, we have a writer, William Carlos William. He wrote in reference to that poem, Raleigh was right. Raleigh was right. Actually, these two poems earlier we discussed, that is of Christopher Marlowe and Sir Walter Raleigh. In that, though both these poems, there are arguments between the lovers. And William Carlos has written Raleigh was right, means nymph's reply to the shepherd was quite right. So this is all I think, and yes, for Sir Walter Raleigh. There are not too many questions about him. Okay, a few were, but he was given the name among the options, but his name wasn't the right answer. So that is why I haven't considered him. Just remember that he was among the prominent explorers during the Elizabethan age, and he was the main accused or among the accused people of the gunpowder plot. So that's it. And remember the name of this poem, because this is also having some reference to the poem written by Christopher Marlowe. So the name of the poem is Nymph's Reply to the Shepherd. So that's it for this lesson. Have a very, very nice day. Thank you.